Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Felicia. I'm a Nigerian YouTuber based in Lagos. If you're new to my channel, I create content around fashion, lifestyle, sewing and DIYs, and I do a bit of vlogging too, so you may want to click that subscribe button to join this creative family, okay? And if you're returning subscribers, my newest subscribers, thank you so much for all the love. I love you guys too, okay? So in this video, I'm going to show you guys how I created this apron kimono. Just keep on watching to see how I did this. So for this tutorial, I used just 1 yard of fabric, and that's 36 inches long. You'd need a scissors, a tape measure, and a piece of chalk or whatever you can use to mark out the lines on this fabric here. The first thing to do is to fold the fabric into two. Just take your shoulder measurement from one shoulder bone to the other shoulder bone and apply that measurement on this fabric that you have folded in two. And once you have folded it in, I used 15 inches because that's how long my shoulder is, but also I am not going to be making this to be getting to my shoulder, but regardless of that, I'm still going to be cutting out 15 inches because by the time I hem this width of fabric, it's going to move in a bit more into my shoulder. So I'm not going to be adding anything extra to my shoulder measurement. So this is just 15 inches that I have folded here, and I've just cut the excess off, which I'm going to be using later. And now the next thing I'm going to be doing is to mark the length of the apron dress, how long you want it to be, okay? So just take your measure, the tape measure, and from the highest point of your shoulder to the length you want your apron kimono to be, and mark that. Mine is 43 inches. I actually want mine to be 42 inches, but I'm going to be adding 1 extra inch for the hemming. So I'm just marking that 43 inches right there, and I'm going to cut that bit off, but I'm still going to use it later for the straps here. So you don't want to throw that away yet, okay? Once I've cut that out, I'm just going to open up that folded edge of my fabric. So I'm just opening it up right now so that I have two individual pieces. So now I have my two pieces. I'm just going to fold these individual pieces in two again, but make sure you're folding it on the right side. That's the right side facing each other when you fold it, so you're marking whatever you're marking on the wrong side of the fabric, right? So once I've folded the individual pieces in half, I'm placing them on top of each other and making sure that the folded edge and of the two sides are aligned. And then now I'm just marking a half-inch line right there so that I can use that as my guideline. So now on that line I just marked, I'm going to be marking the width of my neck. The width of my neck is going to be 3.5 inches, and you can make that 4 inches if you're on a bigger side. And then I'm going to be marking the length of my neckline, which is going to be 4 inches. So that's going to be serving as my front neck, which I'm now going to connect those 2 points together using a curve ruler. But you know what? I'm not going to be using a curve ruler, just so that you know you can actually do that without it. So no excuses, okay? So just use your pretty little fingers and mark that line, curve it as much as possible. Really, just do what you can do. You can make this a square shaped neck, you can make it a boot-like neck, but I'm just doing a basic round neck, okay? So now for the back neck, I'm going to be using 1.5 from that line I marked up on the beginning point. So that 1.5 inch I've come down now is going to serve as my back neck, and now I'm just connecting it to the width of my neck as I did for the front part. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to go on the rough edge of this folded fabric, and I'm going to just mark my 1 inch hemming allowance. For me, I didn't really need to do this because I know what my 1 inch is, but for you, just mark 1 inch all the way down and draw a line there. Transfer the lines on all the other sides so that it helps guide you when you're folding it in, so that you have a perfectly straight hemming, right? So just mark this 1 inch all the way down to the length of the apron dress, and once you've marked on this one side, just lift your fabric up and transfer the lines to all the other edges of this fabric. So the next thing I'm going to do is mark 1/2 inch below that line, that as you can see, and then I'm going to be connecting that 1/2 inch to the width of my neck. So this line I'm marking now is just my shoulder slope. Why I'm doing this is because I don't want my apron dress to be flying like in the air, you get. So I'm just doing that shoulder slope so that the shoulder can lie flat well on my shoulder. So now once I've done that, I'm going to cut off the neckline, the back neckline, that's the higher point. The next thing to cut off now is cut 1/2 inch away from that shoulder slope. So I'm just going to cut a slanted line now away from my shoulder slope. Once I've done this, now I can take off the back piece because I need to cut my front neckline, right? So I'm taking off the back piece now, and I'm going to cut along that front neckline to cut it open for my front piece. So once I'm done with that, I'm just going to show you guys what it's gonna look like. So this is the front piece, and this other part here is the back piece. So I'm just going to place them together like so. So I'm just marking a 1/2 inch line on my shoulder slope so that it serves as a guideline for sewing. If you're a newbie, you want to consider marking all your lines because you may not know what 1/2 inch is yet, but just mark your line so that it helps guide you. So now I'm just going to go to my machine and sew on that 1/2 inch line on my shoulder. Once I'm done with that line, I'm going to then go ahead and hem all around the length of this dress. So I'm going to just fold it in one time and fold it in one other time. That's 2 times in total, and then run my stitch all around the full length and back. So now the next thing to do is cut out your bands. So those pieces of fabric that I left out in the beginning, I just cut them into 4 pieces, and the length of this is 30 inches while the width of this strap is 3 inches. So I'm going to be using these 4 straps for the ties of my apron. While working on my machine, before you start sewing as a newbie, try to pin your fabric in place so that it doesn't shift. But if you're a pro, by all means, do it without pins, okay? So I'm just going to run that stitch on the 1/2 inch on my shoulder slope. So the next thing to do now is to hem the edges of this dress. So just fold it in 2 times. The first one gets into the line and then fold it over one more time. And run your stitch all around, like the whole length of this dress. Once I'm done with that now, I'm going to now work on the neckline of this kimono dress. So I'm using a bias tape. So all I'm doing now is to open it up, and I'm going to be using the ironed line there to serve as a guideline. And I'm going to first of all start sewing from the front side, then from the right side of the fabric. So I'm going to use that line right there, and I'm going to run my stitch along the neckline all around. Fam, please, if you're watching this video and you haven't subscribed, please click that red subscribe button and join this family, okay? We do a lot of fun things apart from sewing. If you're not into sewing, we do vlogs and other sit down videos that's super fun, yeah? So the next thing to do now is to fold in this bias tape inwards. So I'm going to take it in and then run a stitch around. If you enjoyed this video and it seems super easy, please give me a thumbs up and let me know in the comment section if you're going to try this out. Okay, now I'm done with the neck of this dress and we are almost done. One last thing, we have to sew on the straps right now. So those straps I cut out initially, I'm going to fold it over, the right side facing each other, and I'm just going to run a stitch on 1/2 inch all the way down to the full length of the straps. So I'm going to use my safety pin now and turn my straps inside out. So these are my straps. I've already ironed it down so it's all nice and flat. And now the next thing I'm going to do is to mark my waistline from the shoulder, from the highest point of the shoulder. I'm just going to mark the slimmest area of my waist. So take your tape measure from your shoulder to the slimmest area of your waist and mark that. I'm marking 17 inches, but I later went on to reduce it to 15 inches because 17 inches didn't work for me. So I used 15 inches at the end of the day. So now once I've done that, I'm going to now run my stitch, place my straps on the inner part of this kimono dress, and then run my top stitch on that point. So I'm just going to fix in the 4 straps now. So that's it guys, we are done with this tutorial. Super easy, right? Let me know in the comment section if you found this super easy and if it's something you would recreate. Like, this is so versatile. I love this apron dress. You can really dress this up or down. You can wear it with a tank top like I'm wearing now. You can also wear it with a shirt, a collared shirt with a pants. So depending on how you want to dress this up and down, you can just play with this one. Alright guys, so I'll be signing out now, and let me know in the comment section, as I said, if you're going to try this. I'd love to hear from you, and just let me know what you would love to see on this channel. If there are more tutorials you want from me, let me know in the comment section and I'll get right on it. In the meantime, stay fabulous, stay handsome, and see you guys in my next one.